Are you looking for flowers for your event or for your wedding? Well, today on 15 Minutes to Frame, we have Cottage Florals. Jennifer, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
So you have Cottage Florals and events, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So now we've worked together a few weddings here and there, and I know we've crossed paths at expos and whatnot. So I want to learn more about what you do, about your business, and about not only the floral side, but also the events, and I hear a little bit of rumor that you also have a venue. So we'll talk more about that.
Okay.
And we'll let the cat out of the bag. But so talk to me about how did you get started into you're starting your floral company.
Well, I've kind of always helped out with weddings over the years. Friends and family members that got married, I helped them.
You was kind of always the go-to person in the family.
Yes, I always had the parties at my house.
Yeah.
I was always that person.
Right.
I'm an audiologist.
Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. So I worked with hearing and hearing aids for 25 years.
Completely different.
Yeah. 6 years of education and did all that.
And you walked away from it.
Walked away. About 5 years ago, a friend of mine came and said, I want you to do the flowers for my wedding.
Okay.
And I thought, you want silk flowers for your wedding? She was like, no, you're going to do fresh. And I said,
okay.
I don't know anything about fresh flowers. And she was like, well, you can do it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Because she knew you were meticulous, you had an eye for detail and all that. Okay.
So that was it. I was hooked. I did that one wedding and that was it. So I continued to work as an audiologist with this as my side hustle.
Yeah.
And then a few years go by and finally I'm doing it full time.
And probably a lot like my story. I mean, I was working, as an engineer in a coal business. So, so we, time changed and whatnot, so like, I had a side hustle, which is, videography, and then just kind of, was turning weddings down all the time, turning little gigs down, and then finally I just said, you know what, I can really do better if I just go full time. And it's a leap of faith.
It is.
It's scary.
But it's almost like a calling.
That's exactly right.
You know that's where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's different at different times in people's lives too.
Yes.
I mean, like, you're, when you was younger and, right out of college and all that, that's really a high risk to start your own business.
Yes.
So
yes.
By working as an audiologist, she was able to probably get more, financially stable or whatnot, and get some kids grown up, whatever, before you kind of started it. Well, that's good. Yeah. Congrats. Yeah. So you guys do, well, first of all, I say guys, but is it you and somebody else or just you? Or what
it's me, and then I have different people that come in and help me for events.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you don't have like a walk-in storefront.
No, we don't do any kind of dailies. It's all events, special order stuff. We do baby showers, wedding showers, sweet 16 parties, things like that.
Yeah, just any kind of event that somebody may have, especially weddings. That's probably your biggest business.
Weddings are our business.
Yeah, that's why we got to know. Yeah. And so not only do you do like design plans and whatnot for like the flowers and all that, but you also do event management, coordinating.
Yeah. So we do some planning. If the brides want us to come and do like day of coordination or do some planning, we do that. I kind of found that people right at the end would panic and oh my gosh, how do I even set up? What am I going to do with all this stuff? Because my hair and makeup starts at 9 a.m.
Yes. They try to do it. They think they're going to do it themselves, and then they realize that they just can't do it.
Right. So I kind of helped out a couple of times and thought, well, this is just something that I should start offering and saying, hey, if you want me to do this, we can tackle this for you.
Right. And as a vendor, we see more weddings than a bride does, because usually it's their first wedding and their only wedding. So like we know things ahead of time. They might think that they know everything they need to do or how long it takes to do, 8 girls' hair and makeup.
Right.
But they don't.
They have no idea.
Right. It's a big deal. So it's good to have professionals, whether it be florist or photographer, videographer or DJ or whatever, or planners, of course, to to kind of be there to kind of hold our couple's hands
Yes.
and kind of say, hey, this is you don't have to do this. It's your wedding day, but we recommend this, and this is why. And I know you have those cases too.
Yes.
With florists and designs, and,
Yes.
and those things take time. And then like live flowers, I mean, you can't put them out just anytime the night before, right? So,
The stress, I truly think that the vendor at a wedding that has the most stress is the florist.
wow, okay.
Because you're working with a live product.
Something
and
that's-
everything is so time sensitive.
And it's by weather and humidity.
Yes.
Right.
And you're presenting when everybody is the most stressed or the most
Yeah.
hyped up.
Right.
So if you do a video
Uh-huh.
or a photographer does photos, they don't see that until after all that
Right.
is over with.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm walking in thinking, please love this.
Right. Yes.
Because this sets the mood.
I see. Yeah, you're right. So like, yeah, you show up with. I mean, they have. I guess the bride come to you. You guys kind of collaborate and
Yeah.
come up with Pinterest
Right.
boards or whatever.
Yes.
I'm learning all this stuff, and you're like, okay, this is what my bride wants, and I'm going to do my best to deliver that.
Right.
And of course, that highly depends on your sources to get whatever
Yes.
it is. If it's something off the wall, it might
Right.
be difficult and time constraints.
And
So
they're
yeah.
all the flowers are shipped.
Right.
I mean, there are some local farms that you can buy from, but that's very seasonal,
Right.
and a lot of things can't be grown here. So we're trusting things to come from Holland or South America
Holland.
on an airplane.
And anything can happen to an airplane.
Anything can happen.
Oh wow! Has anything like that ever happened?
Oh yeah.
So so what do you do? Like, let's just let's just say you have some kind of flower coming from
Yeah.
Holland, and we won't say the plane crashes, but bad weather.
Yeah.
And the plane gets delayed one day. So what happens?
There are local
Okay.
wholesalers
Okay.
that we get things from, and we just have to make substitutions. And
Right.
I always tell all of my couples, this is what we're going to try to do.
Right. If everything works great, 100%,
This is what it'll be.
They understand
Right.
that this
But
is coming from Holland.
there's no way I can guarantee that it will be exactly
It's out
like
of your
this.
control.
Yep.
I can guarantee you I'm going to deliver
Yes.
a product, and then, but on the day of this, if something happens to that airplane,
Yeah.
or whatever, then that delivery, then, it's out of your control,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to have I guess that you can have option. This is what I want. This is
Yeah.
my second option,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And third and fourth.
And a third and a fourth. Wow. So I'm never going to start the florist business, so you don't have to worry about.
It's a little touchy.
I like learning about this.
Yeah.
This is good to know.
Yeah.
For me, and a lot of people probably don't know. Like they think, well, you can just go to the flower shop and poof, there's flowers, but that doesn't happen.
Right.
I mean, it comes.
They have
from
to come from somewhere.
somewhere, right?
And it's
right,
it's a fresh live product.
right.
And it's very time sensitive.
Right. Now I do know like silk flowers, fake
Mm-hmm.
flowers. So of course you can do whatever you want with
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
then you can order those whenever and,
Yeah.
and do that. So like percentage wise, how many weddings do both? I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I would say probably 70-30 fresh to silk
Okay.
is what I'm doing. I prefer fresh
Yeah.
because I just feel like it's your wedding day. You should have the most luxurious thing that you can have. When are you going to have the excuse to get that many flowers again?
Right. That's true. Right.
So that's my
That's
take on it.
True. Yeah. And
But
now, which one costs more?
they're really very similar
Okay.
in price.
Okay.
Silk's a little bit less, but I only get silk flowers that are higher quality so that they look fresh.
And real.
Yes, you want them to bounce and do things in the videos and the pictures,
Right.
and you don't want something stiff. So
Right. Yeah, you don't want them to just look plasticky and
right.
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 So that makes sense. I mean, gosh, I'm just trying to think. I need to start paying attention.
Yeah.
Are these silk flowers? Are these real?
Yeah.
And I can always tell. When I'm really paying attention.
Right.
But yeah, that's
I just posted a picture on my social media,
Okay.
and it was a bouquet that Melissa Kincaid actually took to South Carolina with her
and
for
it
a
was
shoot.
silk, right?
Part of it's silk and part of it's fresh.
Really?
And I asked, who can tell what's what?
Cool.
So if you pay for the more expensive silk flowers, you can have silk, and then you don't have all of that stress of, do they come in the way that I want them to come
True.
in?
Right. Or if you have something, maybe a bride has something super off the wall, some kind of weird, whatever species, and you can get silk, but you're just really not. And being a professional, you can say, hey, these are the risks involved of getting that particular flower or whatever. So maybe we should go with silk and maybe mix it up or whatever.
Right, and that's what I do. I do that a lot with peonies. Brides love peonies, and they're only available for a short amount of time, and they're very fragile.
Right.
So that was actually what was in the bouquet, peonies.
Okay.
And everybody asked for them, and I'm like, okay, well, you can have them from here to here, but after that, and they're super expensive no matter what.
Right.
So we'll just pop a couple silk ones in there. Nobody will ever know.
That's pretty cool. I never realized all this. So this is really I'm learning a lot here. So so how did you know all the species? It's just something you do, right? You deal with it every day.
I've learned a lot. I mean, I knew some. Have a lot of gardeners in my family, and I've always just paid attention. But I just researched, and I've never had any formal training.
Right.
I just,
so you just kind of
I just jumped in and did it.
And I'm glad you said that, because I haven't either. I'm self-taught, and you are too. And I really feel like, and I could be wrong, so somebody out there will beg to differ with me, but I really feel like that more passions come from somebody who is self-taught.
Yeah.
On their craft, like a photographer that's self-taught. I really feel like they're more passionate about what they do versus somebody that went to school for it. And I know somebody's probably frowning on me right now, but I really do feel that way. And it's not the case for everybody.
No.
But I mean, I guess you can go to what kind of schooling to be a
photographer. You can go and take classes and get all these certifications after your name. And I do want to do that eventually. I've always been afraid. My look is a little bit different from everybody else's, and I've been afraid to take the formal classes because I'm afraid it will change the way my things look.
But it's still an art, though, right? Right. So an art can be. I mean, you mentioned Melissa Kincaid. She has a fine art style, very very light and airy. And then somebody like Sarah Irvin, you mentioned her. Yeah. So her style, is completely different from Melissa's. But it's an art, and there's no right or wrong way to share that art, and people see it differently. Somebody may hate my videos, but they may love another one of my competitors' videos. Well, that's fine. They all have that right to.
Everybody has a different eye.
Right. And somebody might like dark and moody, and somebody may love bright and airy, and somebody may like silk flowers and black and blue flowers, and somebody might want all daisies and lilies or something.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. So let's talk about events. So event management. So you do some of that. You offer that. Is that something you're doing a lot nowadays?
I have quite a few this year. I did a few last year, and then I added it in, so I've got quite a few this year.
Working with timelines and generating that. Working with other vendors.
And for the most part, they kind of already have their vendors,
right? And
then they're kind of the last month they're giving everything to me.
A month of coordinator.
And then that way everybody's just communicating through me, and they don't have to aggravate the couple
the bride, because she doesn't need 20 vendors, 15 vendors talking to her all at once. That way you can kind of head off some of those issues before she needs to know about it or whatever. So that's good. So, and I always recommend to all of our couples that you should have a planner, a month of, or at least a day of.
At least a day of.
Yeah, it's very helpful. Just for from my point of view, I mean, just helping with keeping people in line. We take pride in staying or in tune with the timeline that's given to us. Yeah. But then I've worked with other vendors in the past, like other photographers or whatever, that just doesn't care.
Right.
And kind of do their own thing. So that's what you don't need, because and it was a case a couple times where they were a family, like the photographer was a family friend of the bride and the groom, and I know what she wants. Yeah, but let's do this as a team. So that's when a planner or a day of or whatever really comes into play.
Yeah, because you have to keep everything else on track.
Right.
You have to.
Something changes in the early part of the day, and then it changes everything else.
You got to figure out what to do because you've got all these people showing up and you have to entertain them.
Right. And I always tell my brides, like, don't worry about the timeline too much.
Right.
The wedding's not going to happen without you. But you don't want to leave your guests waiting for 30 minutes because then they're going to not get fed for 30 minutes later or an hour later. So people get hangry.
Right. Exactly.
At that point. So,
exactly.
Okay. So let's let the cat out of the bag.
Yes.
Not event, but venue. So you have something new for 23.
Yes.
All right, talk about that.
So my family has just purchased Spring Valley Farm it's in Monroe County. It's right on the Greenbrier Monroe line on 219.
On 219. Okay, cool.
So it's a huge piece of property. It's about 700 acres.
Oh, 700 acres?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
So we can kind of do a wedding wherever you want to do it.
Yeah.
But there's a big house.
Yeah.
That was, part of it was built in the 1700s, part of it was built in the 1800s.
Wow.
And the property is really interesting in itself. The land was deeded from King George before the Revolutionary War and has been in the same family.
Oh, wow.
All this time until my family purchased it this
How
year.
did they find that? I mean, that's just
It's a needle in a haystack.
that's impressive.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful, and we've done a lot of renovations to it. They've really worked hard getting everything.
So the house
completed.
is fully livable, usable, whatever.
Yes, yes. So starting in June, we're going to have the house open, full. It's got 4 bedrooms to rent overnight or for the day, for the weekend, however you want to do it.
Yeah. So if a bride,
hosting weddings,
a lot of brides, they're looking for that place to overnight, stay themselves, their bridal party or whatever.
Yes.
And so then that would be a place they could do that.
Yeah.
What about the guys? Is there a separate place on the property?
there is. We were adamant
Yes.
about the gentleman's parlor.
Of course. Can't forget the guys.
Right, and
I always tell our brides, you're the most important part of the day, but you can't have a
You got to
wedding.
give them something to do.
You got to give them something to do. And there, that 700 acres, gosh, they could bring their, I don't know, it might be a liability, but I was going to say, they could bring their guns and four-wheelers and whatever, but maybe not. But.
Well, we really, I have brothers.
Yeah.
I have stepsons. There's a lot of male figures in my family. And so I know it's important to give them something to do. And I watch the guys on the day of, and they don't know what the heck to do with themselves.
Yeah.
So we did the gentleman's parlor first.
Okay.
So they have a parlor and a dressing room and a bathroom downstairs.
Can't wait to see it. Yeah.
And then everything that the bride and the bridesmaids do, that's all upstairs. The
Okay, so it's in the same building, right?
In the same building.
So we just like on the wedding day, we have to be careful to not let them cross paths.
Yes.
And like in my case, or photographer, taking the dress outside to shoot the dress. Yeah. Maybe there's a pretty tree there or something. Okay. Guys, you stay here. Right. Mr. Groom, you stay there. Don't come out. This is what we do. We go do the dress shot. We come back, let them know he can come back out now. And, we always tell them, we'll break their legs if they come out.
Right. Do not.
Right. Do not mess this up. Don't peek out the window, And so 700 acres, I'm excited about that. So I'm thinking drone shots.
Yeah, everywhere.
It's just going to be unreal. And Monroe County, if anybody's ever been to Monroe County, I've only been there a few times. Nothing but rolling hills and farmland and mountains off at a distance.
Yes,
right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very Virginia-like. It's right, it's right on the line.
Right,
so.
right, yeah. And it's outside of between Lewisburg and Union.
Yeah.
And there's a long stretch of highway in between, 2-lane highway. So, access is easy.
Very easy.
But right off of 64, right? And then, And
you can come either from Lewisburg or from White Sulphur. It's about the same distance either way.
Yeah, right. And then, okay, so, destination wedding. Somebody comes there from another state.
Yes.
Where are there places to stay? But the bride and groom are going to, whoever can stay there. But then, Lewisburg has hotel rooms.
Yes.
I'm not sure about Union. Or maybe a few.
There are quite a few Airbnbs in the area, and we've kind of made friends with everybody.
There you go.
And we have those. And then we are eventually going to have 3 on the property. One's in process right now.
Cool. Like a small
just
tiny
a small
home.
little house.
Yeah, tiny home, which is
a couple bedrooms, which is all you need.
Outdoor retreat, wedding retreat.
Yes, and that's the whole thing that I want. Like I've always wanted to create an experience. I was able to do that with my own wedding.
Yeah,
my whole family went. We rented a bunch of homes on the property, and we all were there from Thursday to Sunday.
That's cool.
And
was it just about one day?
Right, and we were just able to experience each other so much more. There wasn't as much stress. It wasn't everything getting finished in one day. And, you know, you watch all these movies with them doing like golfing outings and fishing outings or spa days. Like they do that the day before. And, you know, the weddings that we see often, there's no time for that.
That's right. I mean, we've shot some, you know, luxury weddings, high, you know, higher end weddings. Every wedding is important to us, but there are, you know, there's different budgets and different cultures or whatever, different things that people like to do. But, you know, we've noticed like out of state, you know, like Florida, for example, you know, like Friday night, you know, or Thursday they do golfing and the girls go do something or whatever. And then Friday night you have the rehearsal, you know, dinner, but it's not just that. We went out on a yacht recently, last June or whatever it was, and, you know, spent time on a yacht. And then we had like a rehearsal, you know, little party or whatever, and, you know, then toasts were given then, and then, you know, during the wedding there was toast then too. So I mean, it was like you said, it was a full experience.
Yes.
And that's kind of cool to be able to do that.
That's really what we want to do. We have 2 miles of Second Creek in the property. So
fly fishing, right?
We have fly fishing. We have a guide that'll take you if you want to do that.
So
or you can just go do it on your own. The guys can go and leave the ladies alone while they do get their spa treatment.
Right. What about shooting guns and stuff? I know that a lot of is that something that's not permissible?
We do have hunting on the property. My family hunts there, but there's cattle on the property, so we have to be careful about that.
Mm-hmm. You don't, and usually a bunch of guys usually get a bunch of drunk guys.
Right. We'll just stick to fishing.
right. So yeah, fishing's safe.
Yeah.
You get a hook in your arm, but that's about it.
I mean, the deepest Second Creek is, you know, a few feet. It'd be fine.
That's cool. That's cool. So then definitely four-wheeler riding is off limits, but that's so cool. I mean, so like on the property, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm really excited to, you know, get booked for the first one.
Yeah. So do it.
Let's do it now. But so you have like hay fields. I know there's 700 acres. You have everything, right?
Yeah. So there's fields everywhere. There's wooded areas. There's the third largest spring in West Virginia is on the property.
Really?
And if you've never seen like a really big spring, it's amazing. It takes your breath away.
Does locals come there to get water from the spring?
No, it's tucked way back in. And
cool.
we think that was where like the first home was.
Probably.
Right beside of that, because there's kind of a little foundation back in there that we've kind of uncovered.
Yeah.
But it's really, I mean, it's just water coming out of the mountain.
Just coming out of the mountain, yeah, it just starts right there. And now, does that form Second Creek, or does that just go
It feeds into
Second Creek? Okay.
But it's crazy how big it is.
I can't wait. Now, how far, like, are these, like, if we, after the ceremony is over, we're like, hey, Jennifer, let's go to, you know, the spring. Yeah. How can we get there?
So we do have to cross the creek a couple places. So as long as we have a truck, or we have a couple side-by-sides and things that can take people, we can do it. As long as the water's not up, we can always get there. Yeah. And I mean, it's an experience for sure.
That's cool. So
it's beautiful.
And that's where the event planner comes in, which would be you in that case. In this case, for sure, you know, you would make sure we have time. Okay, this is ceremony at 4:00. We want to do sunset photos at the spring or whatever, or up on the mountaintop. Is there mountaintops too where we can get up high? Okay.
Hilltops. We're in Monroe County. Hilltops.
Hilltop, that's right. Yes. Well, not mountains. We can see the mountains, but we're on the hilltops.
Yes.
So we're sort of in a valley.
Yeah,
I guess,
it is.
Well, the Greenbrier Valley, I guess is what they call that, and Monroe, whatever. So that's pretty cool. So, gosh, I'm excited. So the house has, you know, sleeping quarters for the girls and plenty of room upstairs for hair and makeup, and there's always one room that's going to be real pretty for the girls, for the bride to get dressed in and all that. Oh, cool. That's
it's really neat. And then we're going to have tents for now.
Yeah.
Start with that and see how things go. And
there's a better term for the word tent that I've been seeing pop up, and I can't think of what it is right now. I'll have to find that.
Yeah.
But they're like more elaborate tents, and they have like bathrooms in them and everything.
Yes.
So, and there's a couple campgrounds in West Virginia that has those. So that's pretty cool. So, well, gosh, I can't wait. Yeah. So you're booking weddings now. You have one already scheduled?
One scheduled in October, and we have 7 showings this weekend.
Ah, cool.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So hopefully things will be moving along. We offer, one thing that I've been a little bit surprised about, I decided to offer an all-inclusive package, which includes everything except hair and makeup and photography or videography, because I feel like that's something people
everybody's different.
Everybody's different in what they like for that. So I didn't include that, but we
How
have
about DJ? DJ included in that?
DJ, food, cake, everything.
Oh wow, who's the DJ for that?
I have all different. I have a
okay.
few different ones.
Yeah,
So whoever's
who's available.
who's
whatever.
available.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
and kind of what fits that couple's personality.
Exactly. Some couples don't need a super party DJ.
Right, that's not their vibe.
Right. Yeah, some may need somebody more laid back, I guess. I don't know.
Right. So we have different vendors that we pull from for that. And
is elevated media on the video preferred list?
Yes, absolutely.
So, okay,
number
cool.
one.
And we already know Sarah Kincaid and Melissa Irvin are. So, but anyway, cool.
Yeah. So it's coming along, and people are excited about it. I'm excited about it.
I first heard about it at the Charleston Expo,
Yeah.
and I was excited about it. And Spring Valley, right? Mm-hmm. That's cool. So, I can't wait to see it. So, everybody, get a hold of Jennifer here and find out, if you can go and see this property. It's wide open right now. So if you're planning a last-minute wedding,
yes,
it's perfect right now.
We're ready. Let's go.
and I'm just guessing, but the prices are probably a little lower than that right now because it's so new. But then, but then later on, those prices are going to go higher as more popular it gets and more in demand it becomes.
Yes.
So, just like any business,
right?
So,
right.
Well, cool. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Well, anyway, cool. I think that's all we have time for today. I appreciate you coming out. Your Cottage Way Florals is definitely Southern West Virginia's one of Southern West Virginia's top event florists in the state. So, and we've watched you kind of grow. I mean, we've kind of grew with you, but it seems like I don't know, when did you start? What year?
2018.
18, right. Mm-hmm. So, you started after us, and so, I started hearing about Cottage Way, and I started basically seeing your work, and other brides would recommend you guys, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to notice, and now
she's on the radar.
Yeah, on the radar. That's right. Yeah, so you're a household name when it comes to the floral, and now you're doing event planning and also the venues. So I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
So anyway, that's all we have time for. So we'll see you next time.